Hello, Union Mind. We're here with Mr. Ziegler talking about the registration fair. We wanted to make sure you have all the items in your packet, starting with the course directory packet.
And everyone should also have a high school transcript.
Their high school requirement classes.
And their minimum A through G list for CSU and UC requirements.
There are color-coded request forms, and they're not.
So could everyone please take out their course directory packet? And Mr. Ziegler, could you talk to us about that?
I would be happy to, Lucas. So, in the course directory packet, there's only one major thing that you should all know about it, and that is that you do not want to choose your classes directly from the course directory. And the reason for that is that these are classes that are provided throughout the entire district. So, if you sign up for Japanese on one of your color-coded classes here, Japanese is not offered at Union Mind. What this is a great resource for is actually looking up classes that you're interested in taking that are offered at Union Mind and reading about them to get a description on what they're all about.
Thank you, Mr. Ziegler.
You're welcome.
Excellent. And next we have the high school transcript, so if everyone can pull that out. Now, Mr. Ziegler, I see a lot of different symbols and different academic GPAs, weighted versus non-weighted, rankings, class size. Can you please explain what's going on with these transcripts?
I will do my best, Spencer. So here we have two transcripts to look at. We're going to start with the transcript on our right. The transcript on our right, it starts in the upper left-hand corner describing a student who took a summer school course. They took health, actually. Please make sure that if any of you took a summer school class, that it's included on your transcript. If it's not, or if you see any errors on your transcript, please make sure that you come and see your counselor right away, because we want to correct them. Another thing that you can view on the transcript on the right is that if you look at just under health, you can look where this student took geometry their freshman year. Unfortunately, this student failed geometry, and so what they did to correct that is they repeated it their 10th grade year. As you can see, they received a B, and so they repeated geometry to replace that grade. So what you'll see as in their freshman year is that there's an R next to geometry, which means they repeated it and they replaced it so that it changes their grade point average. It makes them eligible not only for graduation purposes, but also for the UC CSU requirements that Spencer will go over with us in a little while. Another thing that you will note on this transcript at the bottom left box is that you can see there's a variety of different grade point averages, and one of them is called the 10 through 12 grade point average. The 10 through 12 grade point average, it includes obviously 10th grade through 12th grade, and it only includes those classes that are college prep. Spencer, how do you know if they're college prep classes?
I believe that you should see a P next to the class on the left-hand side. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And Lucas, how do you know that they're not?
Because it has a little starry thing right on that side.
That's right, Lucas. They have an asterisk star, asterisk on the left-hand side, meaning that they're not college prep. So then when we look at the total grade point average, that's the 9 through 12 grade point average. That includes every class that you've taken, whether or not they're college prep or not college prep, total grade point average. So that's the difference there. Another thing that we look at is the difference between the weighted and the non-weighted. Does anyone here have any ideas what the difference is?
I'm not
I
really
don't
sure.
know.
Okay, Scotty? Okay, non-weighted, what that means is that those are classes that basically that's a grade point average that has come from a student who is taking classes that don't have any advanced placement weighted credit with it. A weighted credit in an AP class we're going to actually take a look at on your transcript on the left. You can see that this student took a variety of AP classes, including AP Literature, AP Statistics, AP US History, quite a few. And so you can look at their transcript under the weighted GPA, and you can see that they have a 4.02. So I know that Spencer was wondering, how do you get above a 4.0? because I know he was shooting for that.
Yes.
And so the way that you do that is by getting that weighted grade point average, because your A's are actually worth 5 points as opposed to 4. Another thing that you'll see in that box is your class size and your rank, which this person is ranked 10th out of 302. You can also note down below that they have taken their exit exam, their English, and their math. They have passed them both. You can also see that in the middle lower section that they've taken a variety of college placement tests. And that would include their AP tests, their SAT tests, and you want to make sure that if you've taken any tests of that nature that they're included on your transcript. Because the next thing that you'll see is that this transcript is accredited. It comes from an accredited school, that's us here at Union Mine, and this transcript is actually official because it has this seal of accreditation, and also Mrs. Felcher's nice signature there. And finally, we want to talk a little bit about the credit summary in the bottom right-hand corner. These are your classes that you all need to have to graduate from high school. And so you can see here that this person has every single thing completed, because this is actually a final transcript that went to UC Davis. And so they fulfilled all of their requirements. You can see that in the needed column, they don't need any more credits. In the completed column, they've completed everything that's required above and beyond, actually. And the required column, it shows you what credits are required in what category. So that is your transcript. If you have any errors, please come see your counselor right away. And that sums it up.
All right, thanks, Mr. Ziegler. Now, could we all take out our minimum requirements paper? Mr. Ziegler, could you talk about what we need to just get out of high school?
Of course. So on your minimum requirement paper, you can actually see something very similar, but in a little more detail than we went over on the credit summary on your transcript. What you'll see here is that everyone needs to take 4 years of English. So that's English 1 through 4. Everyone needs to take a minimum of Algebra 1 and then 2 more years of math on top of that. That may be geometry, may be Algebra 2, it may be accounting, it may be financial analysis. There's a variety of classes out there to meet your math requirement. In addition to that, everyone needs a minimum of a year of life science and a year of physical science. So that may be physical earth science and biology for most of you. And then everyone needs to have world history, U.S. history, and government econ. That comes in your sophomore, junior, and senior year. And then in addition to that, for requirements, you need either a foreign language or a visual and performing art. And so that pretty much sums up all of the requirements from 10th through 12th grade. And then electives on top of that, you all need to have a minimum of 75 elective credits. So for a total of 240.
And so now, sitting in front of me, I have the minimum A through G list, which is, it shows what you need to graduate from Union Mine High School and the difference between that and what you need to get into the CSU or University of California system. And apparently they are very similar, as I'm looking at it, but I do see that in mathematics you do need to take Algebra 2 as a requirement instead of Algebra 1, and also you need...
Can I jump in there, Spencer?
Sure, absolutely.
So, and that's very accurate. What Spencer is saying is that the requirements for math are very similar for your graduation requirements or for your, what he's describing here, your A through G requirements. For math, you may start at Algebra 1, and if you do, you need to go from Algebra 1 to Geometry through Algebra 2, and that will meet the requirements that he's describing. Now, if you begin at Geometry, then you actually have to go one more step because you need a minimum of 3 years, or 3 terms in this case, of math. So that would be through Advanced Algebra 2. Or if you've taken Algebra 2 and you've passed it with a C or better, another option may be Probability and Statistics as well for a capstone 4th year class.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I also see that you need 2 years of foreign language instead of the required 1?
That is true. So to graduate high school, it can be either a performing art or a foreign language. But as Spencer is noting, you need both for the A through G requirements. You need 2 years of the same foreign language. That could be
I took
Spanish,
French.
could be French, could be either one of those. 2 years is a minimum, and then you'll need a visual and performing art as well. So again, very similar requirements.
And that can include drama and band and things like that.
Exactly. Anything that's performing could be art, three-dimensional design, yes, drama, band,
Woodshop.
dance. Not quite woodshop, but those are some really good options there.
All right, perfect. Well, that's all for the A through G list.
One other thing that I want to note is that in the science category, you have to have a minimum of 2 lab sciences, and they have to be either biology or some form of chemistry. My recommendation is always to move beyond that and take physics as well.
So you pretty much, what I understand is you want to take as many classes as you can to leave your options open.
Exactly. So that you can have the option of going to a 4-year college at the end of high school if that's something that you would like to have.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have our course request forms that are color-coded. Do you want to explain how you choose your classes and your electives?
I would be happy to, Scotty. So we have a variety of different sheets here. They're color-coded, as you mentioned. 10th grade are for sophomores. The 11th grade, that's a yellow color-coded sheet, and then the seniors are, what color would you call this, Spencer?
That would be like a pink.
Okay, I would say that pink is in right now.
Yeah, they say it's a very soothing color.
Okay,
Yeah.
so looking at the 10th grade request form, you start by picking, and really 10th grade through 12th grade, they're all very similar. You're all going to pick an English class. Depending on where you're currently at in English, you may pick your English 2 or English 3 or English 4, or you may even pick an advanced placement English class or an AP language or an AP literature class. So depending on your strengths in English, you may really want to consider that, and that will require some prerequisites in terms of English and a recommendation from your teacher, which if you could have that signature on the back of these pages has all of your courses, all your possible electives. If you could have those signatures on the back, that would be great. The same holds true for mathematics. I would recommend everyone take a math class, whether or not it's moving on to geometry from Algebra 1 or from geometry to Algebra 2, so on and so forth. I would highly recommend a math class. From there, you look at taking a science course. Many of you sophomores will be taking biology. Some of you juniors may be taking chemistry or even human physiology. And many of you seniors will have an option there to take physics or human physiology or maybe even AP environmental science. So there's quite a few options in the realm of sciences. And then in the social studies department, every sophomore should take world history, possibly advanced placement world history, with a recommendation from your English department. Every junior should be taking U.S. history. Again, possibly you can take AP U.S. history with that recommendation. And then in your senior year, every senior needs to take government and economics. And then below we see some classes that are required for sophomores, such as PE. There's a variety of academic support classes offered next year, including academic support geometry, academic support biology, and world history. So if you need some extra help there, definitely I would recommend to sign up for those classes. And then finally down below, if you could all pick your elective choices. Everyone should have anywhere between 6 and 8 classes. And so if you could, under generally from your 5th to 8th spot, if you could pick an elective. And then what would really help us would be if you could list 4 alternate electives as well, so that if you don't get your first choice, then you could hopefully get one of your backup alternate choices. And then finally, a very important piece of this puzzle is that you have a parent or guardian signature with the with your signature as well and the date. And then turn this back into your teacher, and we'll work on getting that inputted for your schedule for next year. One more item from the counseling department. Please make sure that when you're looking at your course request form, that What we've done here from the counseling department is we have actually put check marks by the classes that we would recommend for you to take based on graduation requirements and also based on college requirements. So as you can see on your sheet, probably your English, probably your math, possibly your science, and even your history, and maybe even an elective or two are checked for you. So make sure that if you want to make a change to that you have a recommendation for a teacher or you come talk to us. One more thing that I should note is that on the back of these pages, you can find all of your elective possibilities in all of the different departments where we offer a variety of great classes.
We also have a map of the gym showing where the setups for each class is going to be. If you go around to each table, you can get it signed after listening to the information of each class. And
Who's going to sign that, Scotty?
teachers.
Teachers, perfect. Thank you, teachers.
And you can drop your paper off and have it put in a raffle so you can win a prize.
Excellent.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Courtesy of Mr. DeVille, he's offering some fantastic prizes today during the registration fair. And so as long as you've got either stamps or signatures on your page and put them into the bucket for the raffle, then you've got a good chance of winning some prizes.
I hear it's going to be a new motorcycle.
You never know with Mr. DeVille. You never know what kind of prizes that he might be offering, but a motorcycle is
Definitely on the list.
maybe on the list. Yeah.
So we thank you very much for joining us and listening to our spiel on how to sign up for classes and transcripts and the layout for today's fair. We hope to see you there at lunchtime, and have a good rest of the day.